Fala galera, beleza? Big na área aqui com mais um vídeo no canal. E hoje, pessoal, é o seguinte, estamos aqui mais uma vez no canal GameStoon para estar reagindo à nova animação da origem triste do Laranja, de Rainbow Friends do Roblox, galera. Se você tá caindo aqui de paraquedas, é a sua primeira vez nos acompanhando, saiba que já tem aqui no canal todas as sequências dos episódios anteriores em que mostravam a origem dos outros monstros de Rainbow Friends. Então dá uma conferida à nossa animação, porque tá muito legal. E eu tava ansioso para sair a animação sobre o Laranja, porque é um personagem interessante que já atrapalhou muito a minha gameplay, e eu acredito que a sua também. Se por acaso ele já atrapalhou sua gameplay, deixa aquele like, cara, deixa aquele like e comenta aí se por acaso você já morreu pra ele, porque ele deve ter bugado lá durante a gameplay e por acaso te pegou e você nem entendeu o porquê. Então já chega junto aqui comigo. Então bora lá, pessoal, lembrando mais uma vez que o canal do GameStoon vai estar na descrição desse vídeo aqui, para você estar acompanhando o canal do criador do vídeo. Então bora lá, vamos voltar aqui o vídeo desde o início e vamos dar play. Simbora!
That belly you're hearing? That means it's supper time, and boy, am I hungry. The name's Orange.
Se alguém não alimentou ele não, tá pistola, né, cara?
My real name is long forgotten, just like everything else about who I was before. I'm a whole nother animal now, except for one thing. My hunger remains. It all started not too long ago. Back then, I was big, powerful, but scared out of my wits. I was deceived by a lie, a promise of the greatest meal of all time. And now I found myself running for my life. I flew past a corner and found a box to hide in. Hey, buddy, where are you? Don't you want to be our friend? I had evaded Blue. I thought I was in the clear. But Green followed closely behind. You see, Green was blind, but the second he got his fingers on you, you were done for. And unfortunately for me, he was right on my path. I moved the box slowly, careful not to make a sound. But I couldn't see a thing. And I messed up.
Ele vai bater no verde. Fez barulho. Nossa. Nossa, cara, o verde pegou ele.
Green was a dutiful servant. To him, the man in
O homem responsável.
smiled at me, and I could tell then and there that he was pure evil. They tossed me in a
E
machine,
ele era gordinho, né? Faz sentido porque ele vivia só comendo, né? Tá, faz sentido.
stretched in every which way. The last thing I remember was a very bright light. My ears were ringing as my life flashed before my eyes. I thought back to my life on the farm.
Kids, dinner's ready.
It was a simple life, but there were a lot of mouths to feed besides my own. But we made do, as best as we could. Thing is, when everyone else had cleared their plates, I was left unsatisfied. I was still hungry. Mom was worried about me, but they didn't have the means to indulge my desires. She reminded me that they had animals to feed too. And this gave me an idea.
Só falta dizer que você vai comer a comida. Não tô acreditando. Caraca, ele tá comendo até a comida dos animais.
And boy, did he let me.
Ele tinha compulsão alimentar, mano.
If I can't eat their food, I could always just eat them. It seemed as though I had gone too far. I didn't understand. I was being self-sufficient. Did they just expect me to sit by a dog bowl and wait for my food to be delivered on some sort of set schedule? Never. My habit had gotten so bad in their eyes that they decided to send me off to boarding school. The first day started off
Primeiro dia que começou.
I was worried.
Ah, ele foi pro internato. Na escola.
Realized I was huge, big, and powerful. This filled me with a sense of pride. At the cafeteria, the lunch lady gave me a meager serving, and I devoured it all in one big old bite. The others thought this was awesome. That
Awesome,
I was
incrível.
awesome. Those guys offered up their own lunches just to watch the spectacle, and I happily obliged.
Cara, isso aqui é totalmente diferente do que eu pensava da origem do laranja.
It went against the values of the school. But I don't think the teachers liked this little loophole. But whether they were happy, I couldn't care less, because this was the happiest I had ever been. Until I found out the truth. I thought they liked me for who I was. Turns out, I was just a sideshow, a freak. They threw out names
Uma
like
aberração.
Hungry Hippo.
Entendi agora, faz sentido agora, porque a galera gostava dele.
Have to be something special about me, but turns out everyone else thought it was just plain weird. Except
Mas sempre tem aquela, né? Sempre tem a garota especial.
she even offered to help me change my ways. She showed me all sorts of stuff. Salads, jogging, diet shakes.
Saladas, corridas, dietas, shakes, yoga, chá verde, natação. Eu odiava
And went against
tudo isso, absolutamente.
She tried, but I knew deep down that it wasn't me. I made up my mind. If I couldn't become thin like everyone seemed to want me to, then I would get even bigger to spite them all. I went on a quest that day to become the world's largest man.
Maior homem do mundo.
Dog eating contest at the farm. I sweat so hard that they had to travel
Concurso de cachorro quente.
just to pick up.
Lá fora tem muito desses concursos de comida da galera comer o máximo de comida possível.
Spread throughout the
É muito bizarro, a maioria das vezes os participantes acabam passando mal.
I went from show to show, and I creamed them all. Anyways, throughout it all, the same girl tagged along. She, despite her best efforts to change me, really cared about me deep down. It felt so good to be loved by someone for who I was. As I won more and more competitions, I became something of a celebrity. I was on the top of the world, and at last I had done it. I was officially the world's largest man, and I felt good. One day, I got a phone call from the family that sent me away all those years ago.
Hello, honey. Your father and I saw you on the television again. You looked happy. But, son, you're not healthy. Please, come home. We can help you work through your issues. We love you.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I thought they might have called to beg me for money, sure, but this? What issues? I was fine. I was famous and big. My friends saw me go off on my mother in a fit of rage. I really let her have it. This was the final straw.
Aí brigou até com a namorada.
Like what I was turning into, that the fame had gotten to my head, that I was becoming a monster. I showed her the door, and as she cried,
Tá, eu quero saber aonde é que vai fazer ele levar pra ir lá pro
ordering myself
local do Rainbow Friends.
until I caught a look at myself. In the mirror, I had become unrecognizable, even to myself. And of course, my only solace was found in more food. More and more, I spiraled out of control. I could only think of her, even as I shoveled more and more food into my mouth. I saw her in my spaghetti. I saw her in my
Que história louca, mano, essa daqui do laranja, cara. Nada, nunca que eu imaginava uma parada assim desse tipo, cara.
low-cal diet soda.
Pelo motivo dele se alimentar lá no jogo, não tem nada a ver. Todo animal ali, no caso, ele poderia estar se alimentando, cara. Achei bem viajada essa daqui, cara.
When I got one more phone call.
E agora?
Is this the world's largest man?
Not anymore. I'm retired. I can't eat like I used to.
Nonsense. You just haven't found the right meal yet. Not to worry. I have one to die for.
The man on the phone's offer intrigued me, and like the fool I was, I arranged a meeting. I was met with the most lavish meal I'd ever laid eyes on, and it was all you could eat. Thoughts of my lost love faded away as I rekindled my joy of eating. I was in heaven. Something seemed off, though.
Que é isso, velho?
Waiters were wearing sheets over their heads, and one of them kept bumping into the table. I thought it must have just been some weird uniform, and maybe it was the clumsy one's first day, until it came time for dessert.
I hope you're ready, friend, because now it's time for your final treat. Or should I say, trick.
The waiters came to the side of the man and took off their coverings. Before me stood two of the scariest
Alguém surpreso?
things I've ever laid eyes on.
Aí começou a correria.
Another context, they
Aí deu no início do vídeo. Com certeza é isso.
here. They looked like they were going to eat me.
What's happening?
E correr de barriga cheia, cara, ninguém merece, hein?
And ran, and in that moment, I wished I had followed my friend's advice all those years ago. I was found by Green, put into the man's machine, and turned into Orange, the newest rainbow friend. During the transformation, my body rejected the years of mass that I had built up and expunged it, even as my form became narrow and skinny. I was small now, the smallest of the rainbow friends. My pride would have been hurt, but all I knew in that moment was that I was hungry, hungrier than I had ever been. After that, they arranged feeding times.
Tá dando a...
Or to ever be missed. And
Tá dando a desculpa aí pela transformação dele.
running for a proper meal. Unfortunately,
Mas legal.
people were timely with their supper deliveries.
No final de tudo se encaixou muito bem a história
Finally forgotten to feed me.
da personalidade dele e tal. A origem triste faz sentido agora.
Prey. I got you now.
Please don't! I'm looking for my friend! Please!
Amiga dele, cara.
Not you. Why did it have to be you? I can't help it. Forgive me.
Já era, meu irmão. Olha o jumpscare no final, mano, que legal. Aí termina o episódio. E bem, galera, chegamos então ao final de mais um vídeo agora. E agora eu te pergunto, cara, cadê o capítulo 2 de Rainbow Friends? Vem ou não vem esse capítulo 2? Cadê o capítulo 2? Tô vendo todos os jogos aí recebendo atualizações e o capítulo 2 de Rainbow Friends não sai. Tá meio esquisito esse negócio. Será que vamos ter um jogo abandonado igual o Spider? Que é o mesmo criador do Spider. Será que ele vai abandonar mais uma vez mais um jogo grande que nem esse? Não sei, vamos ver aí como é que vai ser. Galera, muito obrigado a todo mundo que assistiu esse vídeo. Não esquece de deixar aquele likezão. Valeu, falou!